If you only have 1 hour a day to improve at Fortnite, then this routine is exactly what you need. I've been personally testing different training routines this season, and I've narrowed it down to the most efficient 1 hour routine you can follow daily to level up fast. As always, if you do enjoy the videos, then leave a like and subscribe, and don't forget to use my creator code NVBatch in the item shop. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So we're kicking this off with a 10-minute warm-up. And what I recommend doing is keeping it relaxed and just don't rush. Because if you start rushing, then your builds are going to be sloppy and your edits aren't going to be good. You want to feel as fluid as possible. You want to focus on good crosshair placement, smooth movement, and the most important, you want consistent builds. Now we all know that warming up in Fortnite is so important. Whether it's for a tournament or ranked, anything to do with warming up before a game is very crucial. As you can see on the screen, all of the popular pros do it. Mongrel, Clicks, Mr. Savage. These are all top tier pros who warm up because they know it's going to help them in the future. So trust me when I say this, follow this exact tip, warm up before your game. Then I recommend going into some edit drills. I would spend around 5 minutes on this, and here are some maps that I recommend. Raider 464's version 3. This one is super clean and customizable, and you can literally do anything you want. Now, if you are a beginner or amateur, then I recommend going through the simple drills because you don't want to overcomplicate things for yourself, because then everything is just going to go downhill and make you more demotivated. What I would recommend doing is focusing on what pros do. Practice their routine, because every single pro will have a different routine no matter what. And you might think they're all the same, but the top tier pros do something different. And that is the most important thing and where you need to pay attention. A key tip in edit courses is don't just mash edits as fast as you can. You want to do them clean and consistent, and aim to keep your crosshair at head level or closest to the build pieces, which is a very good habit to get into. It's what pros do and can increase your chance of winning a fight by a lot. Moving on to part 2, and that is aim training. What I recommend doing is starting with 7 minutes of raw aim training, and what I would also recommend is if you're on PC, then use Kovacs or Aim Labs. I do have a dedicated video to aim training, and it is in the top right of the screen right now, so if you want to watch that video, then go ahead. I would really recommend it. But you want to focus on close range flicks and horizontal tracking. If you see most pros in Kovacs, this is exactly what they are going to be doing. Horizontal tracking is so important in Fortnite, especially when you're tracking people out the air. There is actually certain different drills in Kovacs and in Aim Labs just for glider tracking, and if I could recommend one thing, it is to do them. Grind them out and you will improve in no time. However, for a lot of people, I can imagine they are on console. So if you want to stay in Fortnite, hop into the 1v1 aim drill by Enigma or Raider 464. There are so many different drills on there, it's pretty much as good as Kovacs, as there are a lot of creative maps nowadays that can pretty much do the same thing, but I would recommend glider tracking, close tracking, and shotgun flicks. Then for the next 8 minutes, go into shotgun focus scenarios. Practice holding angles, quick peeks, and getting shots off before the enemy can track you. Trust me, if you can win more shotgun trades, you will win the fight, and that is hands down the most important thing. People underestimate how important these maps are to train, so if you can utilize these maps to their best ability, then you will become a demon at aiming. Again, all of the pros do it. Mongrel, Clicks, Mr. Savage, anyone, they all do aim training. Most of them do it in Kovacs or Aim Labs, as I've said, but again, if you're on console, don't worry, there are creative maps out there that pretty much do the same thing, and I'm going to link some in the description, so go and check them out. Right, part 3, this is going to be game sense and realistic drills. Here's what I recommend. Spend the next 10 minutes doing realistic 1v1s. Ken Beans has a really good map for this. I would recommend this highly, because it simulates actual fights in a game, and it's not about flashy builds, it's about timing, peeking, and reading your opponents. Zone Wars is good and all, but it doesn't actually represent what's in a real game. The entire environment is based around the actual Fortnite map, and there are certain different achievements for when you get different kills like nukes, a golden spaz. To train this is really useful for your benefit. Then for the next 5 minutes, I recommend hopping into Zone Wars. I know it doesn't sound like much, but these intense late game scenarios force you to make quick decisions under pressure. You need to watch your mats, storm awareness, and how you rotate, because these are very important things, and what's probably holding you back in an actual game. Another quick map that I would highly recommend is Martov's Turtle Fights. Now, if you want good piece control and want to touch up on those close fight scenarios, then this map is the best in the game, hands down. Martov's created the best creative map for people who are wanting to improve their close fighting. Again, the map will be in the description, so I recommend hopping in on that, and your piece control and close fight scenarios will improve drastically. Again, so many pros like Mr. Savage and Mongrel have been using Turtle Fights for years, and that is because it is such a good map. And what I would also recommend is practice what they do as well, because they don't just make edits to look flashy, they do it for a reason, and that is to confuse the opponent. So literally, just watch every single move that they do and try and implement it into your game. Moving on to part 4, and that is VOD reviewing. Now here's where 95% of players slack off, but this is the most underrated part of the routine. Take 10 minutes to VOD review one of your most recent games, and you don't need fancy software or anything like that. You can turn on record replays in Fortnite, and here's what to look out for. I recommend looking at your rotations, if your peaks are bad or you just engage in fights that you're not going to win, or if you're wasting mats or resources. I know it's really uncomfortable to watch your mistakes and sometimes irritating, but that is how you're going to improve the fastest. You don't need to hire some shit Fortnite coach or Fiverr, you can literally just be your own. Again, on screen, all of these different pros are VOD reviewing, and it is for the very good cause. And this is because if they can learn from their mistakes, then they will know not to do it in the next fight. Don't expect after you just watch one of your replays that you're going to become a demon, because you will still have the bad muscle memory from what you were doing previously, but nevertheless, this is a really good tip, and I recommend utilizing this. Moving on to part 5, and this is playing ranked. Now, to finish the routine, you're going to want to hop into a real game, and I actually want you to turn on replay so you can VOD review the 3 games that you're about to play and see what you do wrong and how you can improve it. So I want you to play 3 real games and pretend like it's FNCS. It does not matter what skill level you are or what rank you are in. If you take this like it is literally a solo cash cup, then I guarantee you that you will get 20 kills minimum. Now, this should take around 30 minutes, so take your time with this one and don't just engage in fights that you shouldn't be doing if you know you're going to lose them. Like, for example, if you don't have good enough guns or enough mats to actually engage in the fight, then just step back, collect the right equipment, and engage in another fight. And again, you're not playing for the win, you're playing to build habits. Not bad ones, good ones. Now, here's a quick bonus, and these are common mistakes to avoid. Now, I'd say about 95% of players actually do these mistakes, and this is why it's holding them back. And this is grinding edits but ignoring aim, skipping VOD reviews because it's classed as boring, or playing ranked without intention to win. Now, what I mean by grinding edits but not aim is that 90% of players just practice their edits and not their aim. I mean, you should have already got that, but you know, some people don't understand. So you need to be training your aiming and your edits. Trust me, watch your VOD reviews, it's only going to benefit you and make you stand out compared to everyone else. And when I said play ranked like it's FNCS, trust me, do it. You will see such a better improvement. That is the end of today's video. I hope you all did enjoy. Again, make sure to use my creator code NVBatch in the item shop. It really helps me out. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you boys in a bit.